Hi, I'm Brian Murphy, digital editor at Fredericksburg.com, alongside Rob Hedelt, the movie critic for the Freelance Star. And Rob, a lot of movies coming out this time of year. Yep. You saw a really good one with Melissa McCarthy, maybe her best in a while.
Yeah, and it was. And this director, the director who was with her in Bridesmaids, who was with her in The Heat, seems to know how to get the best out of her. And one of the ways you get the best out of Melissa McCarthy, someone who does great physical comedy, is you don't put her on screen for the entire movie. You have a good cast around her, and there is a good cast here. Jude Law is funny. Jason Statham is hilarious because they make him a goofball in this. He's trying to be the cool secret agent, but he keeps messing up. Like he trips and falls and hits his head, so it's good. And Melissa McCarthy is funny. The only slight knock I have on it is there are times when it feels like they run out of funny stuff to say and they just resort to dirty language, thinking that's funny, and that's kind of a cop-out. But it's pretty good. She's funny. They've already greenlit the sequel.
So, of course, that's Spy, so now we'll have Spy 2.
Yep.
Love and Mercy, kind of a smaller movie. I hadn't heard much buzz about it, but I've heard good things.
No, it is, and this is the story a lot of people don't know, I think, of Brian Wilson. A lot of people know that Brian Wilson has struggled with mental illness.
Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys.
Of the Beach Boys, yeah, that's right. He was the creative. A lot of people don't know this either. He was the guy that wrote all the songs. The other ones went out and wore the cool outfits and had the great harmonies, but he was the creative genius. A lot of people know he had mental illness. A lot of people won't know that what happened was he got treated by this quack of a doctor who ended up overdosing him, getting power of attorney, locking him in his house and stealing all his money for years. So he meets this woman who is played by Elizabeth Banks, who's good, and she says, this guy is basically a captive in his own house, and through it all, he gets kind of released. He gets a doctor who prescribes it right, and he gets his life back. So, but it's an interesting movie, and you get a little hint of what made him so brilliant, but you also get a hint of kind of the hell he went through for a lot of years.
Well, the tortured genius is a common theme in music, and maybe next week we'll get to is this the summer of Elizabeth Banks? She seems to be everywhere.
She is everywhere, and she's good in this too. She just can play anything.
But the movie that's going to blow up this weekend, Jurassic Park 4, this one's called Jurassic World.
Yeah.
And it makes you question why they keep going back to Jurassic Park.
Let's see, how many bodies have littered the ground there on that island, But we're led to believe that 22 years later, there's a whole theme park on the island. But ticket sales are starting to drop again. So you know what they do? They come up with a new attraction, which I think is this super engineered T-Rex. And that's not going to end well.
Let me imagine. Things go wrong.
Yep. There's some great visuals that we've seen already. There's this huge prehistoric, fish which eats a shark. But, I think mayhem is going to ensue.
I'm sure it will. You can read all of Rob's reviews at Fredericksburg.com. We'll be back next week to talk Jurassic World and other summer movies.